to introduce some of my officers. Will the officers please stand up? All right, so we have Yafet Norris, our treasurer, AKA Money Man. We have May O'Brien, our secretary, Madam Secretary. I would call that institutional knowledge. Then we have David Krukoff. That is soon to be also the co-chair of our famous career fair, 25, 26. So if something goes down, you see them. All right, board of directors. Any board of directors that are currently here, please stand up. Sterling just got voted in. Give him a hand. All right, I want to thank you, board of directors. I look forward to working with you this year. We're going to have a little fun. I can bet you that bottom dollar. And that helps balance off the stress, because I know that in that group work, there's always a little bit of back and forth with folks. But nonetheless, it is what it is. All right, how about committee chairs? Stand up, committee chairs. I've been calling you through the nights, working you in the last 6 months, trying to cultivate you. And I want to tell you, I appreciate it. You got people here from Sterling handles the speakers program. You got Kenny Barnes, who's now put us on the radar in dealing with local violence, youth violence prevention with DC PIC, which is an acronym for DC Peace Initiative Committee. Then we have Shelley. Shelley keeps us on the map with Walter Reed. Am I right, Shelley? And I just found out one of our board members is his right-hand man, Michael Scarrett, which is, I'm learning something new every day. We have the dynamic duo, if you don't mind standing up, as both of y'all that are affecting our public image, our social media, and our marketing. And that team, yes, they are ready to rock and roll. I got a text this morning at 5 a.m. say, hey, can I have the passwords? Well, I had, yeah, well, you know, a little exaggeration brings home the point. I want to thank Dan the man, who's definitely pouring water right now, but he looks like a committee member when he stood up, right? Dan, you certainly will be helping us, buddy. You are the master of public relations. You know how to get us media, and that's an important thing this year. We want some publicity, definitely. My man. And then we have the one and only, a guy that goes way back with me, Dr. Sam Hancock. That is a save the world brother right there. If you can't find him, he's abroad trying to save folks, trying to create peace. And trees, that's right, which was named after Peter Gilsey, who was one of my big supporters of the YMCA when I was doing development, quiet as it's kept. Peter was part of, what's the, Whole Food, Whole Paycheck, whatever you call it. Peter was part of that entity, and I created a relationship with Whole Food under Peter Gilsey. God rest his soul. Is that it? So, let me tell you, I do have some special shout outs. One, I want to start with our immediate past president, Bob Schott. Bob, seriously, stand up. Bob, come get your badge, by the way. You got a new badge. Yes, and while Bob is working his way up here to get his badge, I want to also give a shout out to our president of Rotary, Raphael. Where are you? All right, I forgot my badge. So again, I want to thank the officers and the board of directors and the committee chairs for being my partner in good trouble for year 25, 26. This is the vision of Rotary International. We have a new president that started the same day that I did. Theme for this year is Unite for Good. You couldn't have picked a better theme, because that's just the way I'm going to do. We're going to unite for good. And then I figured that I would complement his theme with our theme as a club, Bridging the Gap. So later on in the program, I will be sharing with you on what that means, what it looks like, what it smells like. But in terms of my shout outs, I'm not done. I got Gladys Pemberton here. She is an honorary member and part of my Day to Remember Changing of the Guard team that brought you that great party. As a matter of fact, the rest of the Day to Remember team, if you're here, please stand up, because those folks had a ball. And that's Trinity. And then, you know, there's someone that walked in here who's with one of the grantees that we give funds to from out of our foundation. And I want him to come up here for just a second, because I want y'all to see where your money goes. This is City Blossoms. City Blossoms, I can just say they're masters of curb appeal and environment. Come on, Raphael. just tell them how grateful you are of that foundation and what you can do with it. Just give them one line of what you did with that money.
So we've been a grantee of DC Rotary for multiple years now, and you all make our work possible at City Blossoms. We're a DC-based nonprofit organization. We're all about equitable access to green space, school gardens, for early childcare, all the way through high school. With our grant this year, we're going to be building a brand new school garden at Johnson Middle School Academy over in Southeast, Congress Heights, Berry Farm area. We can't wait to have y'all out to join us. That'll be spring 2026.
All right, you guys get to Home Depot and get your gloves. That school I'm familiar with is off of Stanton Road, if I'm correct. But that is my old community, Ward 8. Just so that you know. Good job. Good job. That's a very green part of town, too. Dr. Hancock will love it. There's plenty of trees. All right, the other person I want to give a shout out to is Caden. Caden is the nephew of Linda Solomon, and Linda sent me one of them texts saying keep him busy. So I started by bringing him here. Caden, stand up so they can see what you look like. All right. Caden is a master of website design, marketing, and communications. So he's helping me out in the field too with one of the nonprofits that I chair called Woodridge Warriors Youth Organization. And we provide football, basketball, baseball, and cheerleading. And as you know, keep them busy at an early age is the trick. Special shout out to Ken Brow, and Bob Johnson. They know when that lottery is loaded with cash. They'll show up. Them boys there. Good to see you. Hey, Bob Johnson, how's BET doing these days? That's a cool name to have as a Rotary brother, Bob Johnson. Who's on Zoom? Ken on Zoom? Ken Brown is on Zoom?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
I'm here, sir. How you doing today, sir?
Wow, guess what happened, y'all? Between the help of past President Bob Schott, Marilyn Cruz, Kathy Lynch, Chelsea, right there behind the screens, and Brian Blum, and a couple other cats. Oh, Carlisle Seeley, who was supposed to be here. He may got caught up. Where's Carlisle? Wow, that was a magic trick. Carlisle, with his talents from working with WHUR radio, he actually put together the HD format, and he knows the nuts and bolts of audiovisual production. And Chelsea appreciation. But now our Zoomers can hear us and they can talk to us, and we can talk back. So let's give this team a hand, because we haven't had that in a year. Am I right? It's been a little bit since we've been able to do that, and that'll help with membership retention, quiet as it's kept. There are some folks that really rely on that Zoom. That keeps them a part of this club. And we're definitely a hybrid club. So we're going to work it that way. We're going to respect what all you folks bring to this table, the variables, the dynamics, etc. And I could not get off this mic without giving one of the persons that I'm going to be like a shadow to him, but Kenneth Barnes, yes, you, with DC Pick. Kenneth's platform has gotten us more visibility and publicity than you can throw a stick at, to the point where we're even able to put a PowerPoint together. And that's working with preventing youth violence. And those of you that have been around me for ages, you know that I care about the young people. Oh, I have two guests here I want to introduce you to. This is if y'all used to dance down on the waterfront at a place called the Zanzibar, this was my team. Michelle Daly, stand up. I know you look like a businessman, but you're still a club owner back in the day. Yes, that's one of the owners of the Zanzibar, and his right-hand man, Lamont Henry. Go ahead, Lamont. Lamont, he kept the calm down at the club. But these are guys that I spent many years doing an annual Christmas party called Two Live Libras, because one of my coworkers at the Y, we had the same birthday, and we used to do parties to get new toys for kids, and they gave me the place to do it. And that old truck that some of you have seen me in, especially over at Mount Zion, picking up weeds, that thing I used to look like Santa Shaw, leaving that club at 3 o'clock in the morning, loaded with black bags of toys. All right, maybe we'll do something this year for the kids again. It's an honor, a true honor, to be the president of this historic, illustrious club that has a track record that goes back since 1912. And you can look at yourselves, and this is what Rotary looks like. And you can really reflect on the things that you've done over the years. Many of you Rotarians and soon to be tenured Rotarians, you can reflect and you can literally say one thing that you've done to make an impact on your local community, your worldly community, and your international community, no matter which way you go. So you all deserve to give yourselves a round of applause and be proud of what you are as you go out there and tell Rotary, the Rotary story. I had a vision when I was asked to be president. For those of you that haven't heard this story, I was asked to be president about 10 years ago. Bill Dent, Monica Bonner Connor asked me to be president, and I was working real hard at the Y, and I couldn't do the two jobs. And I told Rotary, I'll consider it once I retire. And then I forgot I told Rotary that. So when I got the leverage calls and the long texts from Tim Hansen asking me to take on this position, how do you say no to that? And then I looked at my wife and she said, well, you said that you would consider after you retire. And then my daughter went like this. She just winked at me. So that speaking of my daughter, she told me to put this flower on for good luck today. She bought me flowers last night. And Sophia, who has my daughter's name but spelled differently, I'll let you have the big day. You got a nice spelling of your name. Could you put this on me? Y'all don't know this, but this is a warm-up to what we'll have coming to you and the newsletter that Sophia will bring life back into. She's excited, and that's part of our marketing, is to bring our newsletter back to toot our horns and remind ourselves what we've done in the community. But back to my vision. My vision was to look at this club and sort of understand that it's a hybrid club. We got what I would call soaring Rotarians. Those are Rotarians that are coming up the pipeline from Interact to Rotaract. As a matter of fact, I want to give a shout out to the Rotaract's treasurer, Eric, if you may stand. I'm sorry, but Eric, let me tell you, I had a chance to spend time with Eric in Calgary, and I'm becoming closer to Eric. And it ain't because he's the money man for the Rotaracts, but it's just something about Eric that I really admire. And his voice, he has a great voice for, what do you call the word, Carlisle? When radio, on-air personality. Sorry about that, Eric. But nonetheless, I looked at our club and I said, well, we got these soaring Rotarians and we got these seasoned Rotarians. So how do you make it work? So I came up with the idea of bridging the gap. And I figured that bridging the gap could mean the same thing as uniting for good. Bridging the gap will also spill over to other categories. And the 4 planks that I put together for here, and usually I like the power of 3, but I also do a table every now and then with 4 legs. And those 4 legs deals with membership, deals with community engagement, deals with youth development from Interact to Rotaract to soaring Rotarians. It deals with marketing. Marketing is such a big word, but everything we're doing as Rotarians is part of marketing. Am I right, Crystal? Am I right? I see you. Am I right? Yes. Everything we do falls under the umbrella of marketing. So I figured with this slogan, I would fall in line with the Rotary International slogan, and would give some clarity on what we plan to do as a Rotary Club. And we hope to do analysis. Some may call it data mining, but we hope to look at ourselves and come up with reports that have measurables, whether it's membership growth, whether it's more visibility out in the community, like publicity, documenting publicity, whether it's getting projects accomplished. And then we have such a great team on the marketing front and the public image and the social media front that we're going to tell the world what we're doing. We're going to tell the world what we're doing. And then we'll watch us grow. And for those of you that have been in membership, in the membership business, like I was in the Y, retention is everything. Retention is everything. And some of you may have heard me say, return my phone call. Well, that's a figure of speech, which means I got to return all y'all's phone call. And I vie to. Our membership is roughly 100, let's say 130 something members. There was a time when we were 400. So we have room to grow, and I don't want to let you go. I really don't. So I'm going to return your phone calls. I did it when I was in my professional career for 37 years, was returning phone calls, and I was able to build a lot of connections and relationships. And that's what we'll do. And we'll learn how to say please and thank you. It goes a long way. And if you notice, when I'm working with membership, I'm also working on our communications that deals with membership. For instance, you'll see me put a bunch of folks in the CCs. It saves me time and money to share information. You'll see me congratulating you on things that you're doing. When I got an email from past President Jennifer Hart about us having a new scholar that's coming to town, I jumped on it because I said that's an opportunity for Sophia to write about on how we shepherd this scholar in town and make sure they have a great time, and they go out there back to Japan and tell Japan all about us. And next thing you know, we're all, heck, we can probably get what you call what do they call it? A viral. If you know what I mean, we could probably get a viral out of this deal. You never know. But back to us just using the movements of Rotary, what we're doing, how we do it. That all is about marketing, making sure the audio visual is tight so the Zoomers can interact like we will be able to do today. Bringing back, bringing back the videotaping of these speeches. Or, another thing, I'm using the word luncheon. If you pay attention to me, I'll call this a luncheon versus a meeting. Meetings tend to make you think you got to work. And luncheon says it right out the gate, you're going to get fed. And I've learned when you're dealing with group work, if you feed them, you can bleed them. No, I'm just joking. But anyway, ain't no free ride. Another thing I wanted to do today was recognize my family. My family. I met my wife at American University. I wasn't even a student. That's back before 9/11. You can hang out in the dorm room and look like a student. Y'all don't know this, but I was even a green room player. I did a play called Hair. I was a lead. I was HUD. Now, HUD's a little more darker than I am, but they were desperate up there at AU, so they took me. They actually begged me to be HUD, and I love theater. And so next thing you know, I'm up there doing a sold-out show called Hair, and I'm not even a student. And I got the president of American University. He's standing up because we sold out. And he don't know that I'm like a renegade. What would you call me? A stowaway or whatever? But I got on the gospel choir of AU, and I wasn't a student. I used to bring my mom and my grandmother up, and they'd be like this, "Oh, look at my baby." And I wasn't a student. But nonetheless, there was a gentleman. He came to the party, as I call it, the changing of the guard. His name is Dr. Lincoln Marshall, a.k.a. Scrub. So Scrub lives in Nassau near my wife. And he was the RA. I don't know if they call them RAs anymore, resident advisor. He was the RA. And Scrub was tight with the gentleman that is now my son's godfather, Keith Ware, who I met at a little jive job that I got out of high school. I used to retrieve records for agencies like the FAA, Nassau. So he took me up to AU. I drank that Kool-Aid, which is one of my favorite statements, and I hung out and I got involved. But turn around, this family came from Nassau, which was my wife, her sister, Dr. Judith Tynes Jones. She's a psychologist. And I think she's now a bigwig at the University of the Bahamas. Am I right? Counselor General Patrick Adley. She's in the mix down there. And it was her big brother who was going to Howard, Dwight. So Lincoln, I'm going to call him Scrub. This is his nickname. Scrub he told Keith, come meet me peoples from the Bahamas, man. Did I get it right? Laverne, did I get it right? And so Keith said, Donnie, come with me. So I went with him. Fast forward, turned into Keith liking Judith and got us a roller skating date. If those of you that have been around since the beginning of time, there used to be a roller skating rink on Calorama Road. It's now Harry Teeter or something. Harris Teeter. Yeah, that was a roller skating rink. Now, we took them on a roller skating date, and they ain't got no roller skating rinks in the Bahamas. So what does that mean? She couldn't skate. And in the skating rink, there's this time where you dance with a girl. And y'all don't hold this against me, but I went and got another girl. But then I dropped her back off after that and went back to Sonia. Fast forward, I started dating Sonia. Her daddy I learned was a pioneer in the Bahamas. He was part of the folks that made the Bahamas a two-party system. Yes, Bahamas. Am I right, Counselor General? Is that a short version of it? Cyril Tynes. Cyril Tynes is my father-in-law. He was a what's the guy that goes and stays in that big, beautiful house on top of the hill? Is it Governor General? He was a Governor General. He helped start a bank for the Bahamians. You know, the British, they weren't the nicest people in town in the Bahamas, but the Bahamians couldn't bank. Can you get a load of that, treasurers? They couldn't bank. So he helped start with a bunch of guys, the penny bank that allowed the Bahamians to get into their banking. Now, here's the great story. I'm in Nassau, and I'm down on the Cable Beach Inn at one of these highfalutin clubs with the bells and whistles, counselor. And I'm in the men's room, and there's a poster that's framed of the founding fathers of the Bahamas. So you can imagine, I come out the men's room and forgot to zip it up because I was excited that my father-in-law is on the bathroom wall. And I said, my goodness, I'm a proud son-in-law. So in 1980, it was hair. By 1988, it was marriage. And 2025, it's 30 years of marriage. And we got 2 kids, one named Sophia. Good name. She will be attending Howard this fall for her PhD. DJ, he's Donnie Shaw III. He met his lady up at Elmira College. If any of you know about Elmira, it's near Ithaca, Cornell, up in the Finger Lakes. He went up there representing DC in hockey. Yes, my son is a left winger, and he played for the DC Cannons, which is a very famous black youth. It's the first black youth hockey program in America and the world. Loved by Ted Leonsis, the NHL, and the list goes on. He went up there and played hockey, and he met a young lady. Now I know why he didn't get A's. I see why he got C's. But I love him to death. He went up there, and he fell in love, and he married his wife. It will be 2 years in September. They live in Long Island, and Frederick is waiting on him because they're moving to Frederick to be closer to us. And the Frederick Rotary are all warmed up and ready for him. So I want to give a shout out to the Frederick Rotary clubs because it ain't nothing better than having Rotary all around town to help you out when you need it. So let's give them a hand, please. Well, then, along that route, Sonia was with me as I worked for the YMCA. I started off as a part-time lifeguard trying to get through American University because I did go back after I got 2 associates from Prince George Community College. Big shout out for the Owls. I transferred one of those associates to get an undergrad in it was international business with a minor in marketing. I finished up in 1989. I got married in 88, so I was still working on trying to get through college even as a newlywed. And again, I have a child who's just turned 30, and my daughter is 24. You know something I learned about Elmira that you guys may not know? Elmira is where Tommy Hilfiger is from. He started with $2,500 with a consignment store. And my son got to work with Tommy Hilfiger's team. And it's funny because when I was coming up in my 20s, and I'll be 65 in September 27th, I even got an Earth, Wind, and Fire song. But nonetheless, when he got up there, do you know that the Tommy Hilfiger team would give me a whole bunch of clothes? I'd come back down that hill to DC and hand out clothes at the health fair. And Tommy was the vendor that I went to when everybody else was wearing polo. Those of you that have been with Tommy Hilfiger a long time, he had a crest. And certainly that was my vendor. And I never knew that one day my son would wind up in a tiny town in nowhere, New York. Literally, the biggest employer is the Joint, the Elmira Penitentiary. They got this is funny, they got at the bottom of the penitentiary, they got a Dunkin' Donut. Yeah. So I guess you get 1 donut before you get in and 1 on your way out. But it stands out like a sore thumb, but it's a cool town. So here we are trying to bridge the gap and me bridging my history. I want you guys to know what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a guy that came out of Southeast Washington, went to Stanton Elementary. Coincidentally, that's the school that we're going to spend a lot of time shoring up. along with Martin Luther King Elementary, using the DC PIC model of getting them early, getting them engaged. I got through college, I got married, and then you turned around and asked me to be your president. Are y'all really ready for this? Are y'all ready for this? I'm gonna tell you, there's one person in here that knows me well when it comes to the why, other than I would start Carlisle, Diane Tate. Did Diane make it today? There you are. Man, we've been working for a year to get Diane on board. Let's give her a hand. You now got more YMCA people in here than ever before. And then there's Marianne Drone. Marianne was, let me tell you something. Marianne taught me this. Make friends with the assistant, not the hood ornament. So when I go down and make friends with the council, guess who I make friends with more importantly? Thank you. Secretary, another name, administrative assistant, chief of staff. That's how you get things done. Ain't that right, past President Cohen? So, and who? And janitors. Oh, yeah. Do you know I gave my trash men bottled water this morning? The most important person is about, hey, Zoomers, you hear that? Certainly, you're going to have your time to talk. But yeah, definitely the valet. As a matter of fact, can we all give a round of applause for the Universities Club staff? They did a heck of a job for the party, as we nicknamed it, changing of the guard. And those of you that missed it, that's okay. We'll have some more parties because our board, we're going to be working on fellowshipping. So get your dancing shoes on. Tell your significant other to either come out or you'll be home a little later. And let's get together and make things happen. Now, I want to open up the remainder of this program to Q&As. Now, if we got a mic person, can we get a mic person? Hey, Stephen, put your cell phone down and see if you can be this mic person. Uh-huh. Now, you know you're losing them when they start looking at their cell phone. So I'm watching y'all. Laverne, listen, let me give Laverne Walker a hand because she is the one that has really brought the Bahamas home to our club. Laverne, stand up for those folks that don't know you. Please stand up. No, please stand up, just like the song goes. Yes, she has made it possible for us to spend time with the Bahamas folks, and we hope to spend more time. I just want to put on the table of thought that it'd be nice if we can do a service project in funky Nassau, if not there at one of their family outlets. But I will be talking to the new president down there, and we'll see if we can iron some things out. And, you know, we can always be a small group, start small, but get your swim trunks and your swimsuits ready. Huh? Y'all probably fall off the boat after sipping. But anyway, it will be what we used to call a fling. Who knows what a fling is? What day do you leave when you do a fling? You know, Thursday. What day do you come back? Sunday. But if you got some dough, you can stay to Monday. But the fling was a very popular marketing tool of the Bahamas back in the day. They did a lot of flings back then. And I was telling the Counselor General, listen, bring back is better in the Bahamas. We grew up with it. It's something we can't forget. Bring that slogan back. All right, so moving right along. I wanted to open this up for questions, Q&A. Ask anything you want, anything. This is your time. All right, we'll start with the Sergeant at Arms.
I just want to first off say that Sterling's been working hard to get speakers, and I'd like everyone here to put your thoughts in your heads about who in your sphere of influence could be a good speaker for us, somebody that might have some historical bent, somebody who might have a vibrant nonprofit around here. But we need to have meetings with good speakers. So please, everyone, think about who you know could be a good speaker and contact Sterling about that. Now for my question.
That's a typical Rotary move, ain't it? Go ahead.
What did your father-in-law say to you when he saw you with your zipper undone?
Well, he didn't, because by that time he had passed away, thank God. But I certainly wish I could remember that restaurant. I know it's on the Cable Beach end, and it's very popular, especially with the younger folks, because my daughter goes there. So I tried to go the other direction. But no, I tell you, my father-in-law knew he had a person of value when he had me paint a big old building in Nassau on Robinson Road. They own real estate down there, and they got these sort of shorty strip malls. And I painted that thing with a long extension pole and a ladder in the summertime. And I'm telling you, they got those light colors down there in the Bahamas. So after I painted that, I got accepted into the family. But like I say, it ain't no free ride. The mother was tough on me. The late Louise Tynes. Who? It took some time because I used to always say she wanted Sony to marry the preacher's son, not this no name from DC. So I had to earn my keep in Nassau. Next question. Don't be scared. All right. How about our new president of Rotary, Raphael?
Thank you, and well, congratulations. Represented the Rotary Club, I intend to build a bridge. Well, the bridge is already there, but strengthen it, if anything. And so my question is, if you have any comments on how we can be better partners throughout this year. And I also have a particular interest in the dictionary project that you guys have been running for some time.
Nancy Riker.
So
She's gleaming back there.
question is, yeah, who I should be talking to about that, because I have some good ideas.
Nancy, can you stand up, please, so he can see your lovely self? That's past President Nancy Riker.
We're gonna be working together, and we've got a plan. And if anybody wants to be on the committee, it makes it easier because there's a lot to be done. And just let me know. Tuya know. Donnie know. He's got a list of what the committee's going to look like.
Yeah,
So-
we've got the roadmap for you.
We've got the roadmap.
Shelley, right there in front of you. Stephen, see him right there? Yeah.
Every day we wake up and we find out that the federal government is withdrawing from a number of different activities, from foreign aid to healthcare, et cetera. And I think the Rotary International should take a close look at this country. And I'd like our club to lead the charge to trying to get us more involved in solving problems all around this country, all around this state.
Well, Shelley, I'm gonna put you on the spot. You said you earn it. You own it. So let's see how that looks. Let's see how that looks. Let's get together in dialogue and see how that looks. And we can certainly start small and grow big. This is a time of cutbacks. And what do you do when you don't have funds? I didn't realize how powerful or how entrenched federal funds were until now. I've learned so much. Not the best way, but I've learned so much, and I'm gonna pay attention to it so that I can respond, like you say. How can we fill in the void? How can we influence in today's time? And certainly a lot of us do have influence abilities, and we could do some, what we call good trouble.
Well, I think we ought to have alliances between Rotary and other kinds of community clubs and address this and work out some sort of movement. Because I've already written Rotary International and talked to them about vaccines that might not be going to places that we've had the U.S. government going. And now let's do it. Let's expand from polio to work on other things. And I don't know, it's an immense problem, but I don't know how to solve it. But I think somebody ought to be thinking about it. I'm willing to be part of that.
And that brings to mind, when you Rotarians are out there doing some good trouble, let the public image team, let the public image social marketing team, inclusive of Sophia with the newsletter, know what you're doing. We have depositories right now that are just sitting there waiting for us to dig in. May has plenty of pictures. Sterling has plenty of pictures, but we need those narratives too. And we can put it out there, and God knows someone can read what we're trying to get accomplished, and they can jump on board to help us as a third party. Certainly in my plank for community engagement, I plan on starting, putting a lot of energy there. I went to Raphael's fundraiser, which was sold out, took pictures of his population just to show you one day what they look like. They look like average Americans ready to get their hands dirty. And congratulations. Coincidentally, he hired one of my daughter's best friends from the field school, and she's helping with fundraising and development. And that was another reason, if I can be honest, I wanted to support her because she's a young person coming up, and she's doing what me, Diane, and Mary Ann Drone have done for the Y, and Carlisle have done for the Y, and that's putting an entity on the map and getting people to donate to them to help them out. So we're on, baby. Thank you, Shelley. Let's go over here to Chelsea. She's got some folks on Zoom that have a question. We're going to end it with questions from the Zoomers.
So Ahmed said 2 questions. First, what challenges are you most concerned about navigating? And second, what does success look like to you by the end of your term?
Okay, the challenges I worry about are people's losing their jobs. How does that affect us? That's one challenge. The other challenge is, how do we keep this club growing? And I'll end with the third challenge. How do I leave an impact of just one thing with this club that I can go to bed comfortably at night? Next question.
What does success look like to you by the end of your term?
That you guys didn't leave Rotary. That's what success looks like, that you're still here with me. You know, there will be some situations where you have to leave, but I don't want you to leave because you don't feel like you've been heard. That's for sure. Some of you know my style pretty good. I'll call you. Next.
I had a quick follow-up question on success. So we know membership growth is super important. Financial growth is super important. Are there metrics that we can establish as a club so that we can look back on, measure the success from where we are today, and then continue to build on that year after year?
You're right on point. Let's start with membership. So we know what we have. And I learned through my 2 years of president's training about what would be reasonable to bring to your club and say, hey, we'd like to grow this much. Well, the numbers are not as big as you think, 5 to 10%. And some of that can be gotten by retention. I'm meeting with the membership committee like they're my cousins, where we would be doing data mining and analysis, paying attention, getting ahead of losing members, looking at trends. You didn't know, but our club is right now gaining more women than men. And that's a dynamic that you look at and see why. But yes, I would say 10% growth in membership I would be happy with. So what would that be? 13, 14 extra members that we don't have today. That'll be a measurable. Another thing I would be I would like to measure is, how do we balance our budget? That was one of the first, one of the texts that I got from past President Schott. I'll never forget that line. He says it's about a balanced budget. So I like growth. I'm a growth man. Growth, and control your expenses along the growth line, and you can make a net. Thank you. And make that next one, Max, speed it up for me.
Quick question for you. Yes, sir. First, I want to congratulate you for being here.
He's my sponsor. He's the reason I'm here.
Years and years ago. But I want to tell you, and also want to congratulate you for growing the Black community in this Rotary Club. I want you to, don't give me the job. I don't want it. I can't do it. I don't have the time. I'd like to reach out.
Am I still on this mic? Max is trying to talk about what it looked like in 2003. Go ahead, Max.
Yeah, what I'd like for you to do is just focus a little bit more. I was in this club when they didn't allow women. We've solved that problem. We had several great women president. We need to focus on Latinos. Don't ask me to do that, because I can't. I won't. But I'd like for you to, that's your job.
There's one thing that hasn't changed about Max. He loves putting some food on your table. All right, Chelsea, did we get everybody to Zoom? Right on. Hey, Zoomers, we love you out there.